All right. So I'm Robert with Swift ERP. We're a team of NetSuite experts based out of Seattle. And what I want to show you all today is the new feature of using language models within NetSuite. So what I'm going to show you in this video today is just do a quick example, a hello world example of the language model in NetSuite, and then we'll talk about some of the other possible use cases and how kind of advanced you can go with it. So you can see here that the new LLM module is available in SuiteScript, and it looks like they have two different models here: the Cohere model and the Command R, and the MetaLlama's 3.1 7dB instruction model. And both these models are pretty good. Cohere is kind of known for developing a lot of these open source models that are specifically for business, and Meta's Llama is kind of like one of the better generalist language models out there. So in this video, I'm going to kind of show you what we can do with those models, following some of the help guides here, and then we'll get into a little bit more of kind of what you can do kind of beyond that to run these models. So NetSuite provides a couple examples, and here's one of their examples here. It's this Hello World example. And this is all in SuiteScript 2.1. And here I am in the debugger. And really what we're doing here is that we're bringing in this LLM module and giving it a prompt here, and then setting all the parameters. And if you look at this thing, the model family property here is optional. It's going to use the Command R model from Cohere, unless you specify it. So you really, at this point, you really have a choice between these two models. And then the biggest thing to know with all this stuff is you only have so much free usage for these models. You essentially get 1,000 calls to the language model, and I'm not sure if it's per month. I think that's what I remember reading. But if we just run this, and here I'll just put a breakpoint at the end, so I'm gonna go ahead and run this, and then you'll see here, I gave it the prompt "Hello World," and it says, "Hello, how's it going? Hope you're having a fantastic day," and that's the response. So what you can do with this that's really a lot more interesting is we can use this for all sorts of things. So some use cases could be information comes in and it needs to be tagged appropriately. We need to know which entities are involved. We're assigning the stuff to projects, tasks. We're going back and cleaning up data that we know what to do. It's just like a very repetitive process. So now the language model can do it for us. And some things you want to kind of consider is when you look at these parameters here, what do these parameters like really mean? Well, an important one is kind of like the max tokens here. How many tokens are we going to use in what we're sending and what we're getting back from the model? And if token is, you know, a way of thinking about it is it's just like 3/4 of a word. So we're going to say this is like about 750 words that we're limiting this to. And if you look, they advertise some of these models here, as Command R 16K and Llama 3.1. And if you look those up online, you might say, oh, Llama has 128,000 context window. So that means we can fill up with a lot of information there and use it. But in reality, I advise folks to kind of look at NVIDIA's ruler benchmark. Because what this is it's going to tell you about what is the actual realistic real-world effectiveness. So even though the Llama 3.1 7dB model is going to say, hey, I have 128K context, that maybe that's true in some sort of ideal needle in the haystack test scenario. The reality is it's really only good up until 64,000 tokens. And after that, you're going to see, as you can see here, a degradation of how good it is at remembering all that information that you gave it. And I think the Command R one may be this one down here. I'm not sure because I don't know all the information on what the actual model that NetSuite's running. Um, we don't even know if it's quantized, if it's in the full precision, meaning this is the best possible thing, or they kind of squish it down where you lose some of that granularity in um, in the model and you may not be getting the best result. So those are some unknowns. Um, but it is a very kind of cool thing, and you do have some free use out of it. And I would say if you really want to go beyond that, then what you're going to want to do is to start looking at how do you incorporate NetSuite with other language models, either other platforms or running it locally. Um, Therefore, you can kind of create your own models that are specialized to your data set. At Swift ERP, we offer a lot of different tools to kind of help folks do that if they're looking to train their models specifically on their data. And we have a whole backup tool to help extract your customer data out of NetSuite to facilitate that. So there's a lot of cool applications for this. If you look through this, some of the script samples that NetSuite offers, other than this Hello World one, is clean up the content area text, the text on fields after saving a record. And this example script here of you're running the content with field data through the language model, and then remove typos, et cetera, may be useful. And then this one's a little more interesting. Provide a LLM-based chatbot for NetSuite users. So while these things are kind of cool and shiny, definitely, NetSuite is basically just running a couple open source models and letting you interact with them on their server. So it's not like these models are going to know everything about your business. And their context window of what they can actually remember is, like I said, probably more in that 64,000 token range. So you can't really give it all the data about your business. So that's why you'd want to look for a solution that is taking your data out of NetSuite, processing it there, and then coming up with an answer based on your huge volume of data, because most folks are going to have tens, if not hundreds of gigabytes of data, which is tremendous amount of tokens. And you're going to have to develop methods to chunk that up and process it with a language model, and also give the language model the ability to look up everything in your data so they can establish some sort of context about what it's looking at, since it can only look at a small chunk at a time. But if it has the ability to also incorporate some lookups into the whole corpus of your data, then it can be a lot more meaningful in giving you a result that you want. So lots of cool applications for this. It kind of ranges, runs the gamut here. There's a lot of very interesting things that you can do in terms of just tagging your data and kind of cleaning up your data and automating even some really kind of mundane solutions, so you're freed up to do a lot more interesting stuff and grow your business a lot more. So yeah, so that's everything I want to kind of share about that at this moment. I'll have some more videos in the future where we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what we can do with language models and your NetSuite data. So I'm Robert with SwiftERP.com. Feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in incorporating some language models with your NetSuite. Thanks.